Welcome everyone to today's webinar. We appreciate you all for joining. And this is another series of our Techie webinars, our September edition. We have with us today Bukola Adetola, a Microsoft Power developer consultant. And I'll be taking you through a walkthrough of what Techie is all about, the brain behind Techie, the Power Platform course, and also introducing our awesome speaker with us, Bukola Adetola. If you can hear me clearly, please kindly signify.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so at Techie, what we do basically at Techie is we empower you for the next tech generation of professionals. We put you at the forefront of the tech revolution. As we all know, tech is taking over the world. And our mission is clear: to bridge the gap between education and employability in data-driven and cloud-centric world. At Techie, we don't just bring you in to actually sweet mount you or anything. We're actually taking you from zero to hero, from intermediate to beginner to advanced level. Yes, we are making you stand that you'll be able to work remotely and also be able to get job overseas. Yes, jobs that could actually relocate you to anywhere in the world and also sit at the comfort of your house and also make a lot of money. Yes, and we are based on courses such as data-centric and cloud-centric courses, which spans from Microsoft 365 administration, Power Platform, business intelligence, data engineering, analytics engineering, and database administration. Yes, our curriculum are extensive and are curated with professionals with 7 years and beyond. Yes, the curriculum is very, very extensive and it is a lot to take in for you, and you'll be having 100% concentration. As by the end of this course, you'll be able to build a capstone project. If you have anything in mind you want to bring to life, you'll be able to bring them to life by yourself. And the Power Platform course is a 6 months course where you'll be taught skills like Power BI, which under Power BI, you'll be having data visualization and reporting. You'll be having Power App, custom app development. You'll be having Power Automate, cloud, which under Power Automate, you're having cloud flows and robotic process automation, and a lot of it. This is not all. These are things that you just see on the slides, but they are extensive. So you have more of them to come your way. And you'll be able to also apply to jobs like Power Apps developer, automation specialist, software developer, Power Platform roles such as developer, engineering, consultants. Like we have, Bukola is also a consultant and she's here with us today. Yeah, she'll be able to apply for architects also jobs. These are not all the jobs you can actually apply for. There are a lot of them, but these are ones that we have on our slides for today. And you can also make your research and come back to yours because we are not lying to you. Yes. So you'll be able to write certifications like this at one go with Techie. Yes. You'll be able to write certifications like this at one go with Techie. So you'll be able to have Microsoft Certified Power Platform Fundamentals, PL 900, Microsoft Certified Power Platform Functional Consultant Associate, PL 200. You'll be able to write Microsoft Certified Power BI Data Analyst Associate, PL 300, Microsoft Certified Power Platform Developer Associate, PL 400, Microsoft Certified Power Automate RPA Developer Associate, PL 500, Microsoft Power Platform Solution Architect, PL 600. You'll be able to write this at one go because at Techie, we are going to be giving you a support on your career and also certifications. When you are done with Techie, you'll be able to take these certifications. That is, Techie will be helping you to giving you heads up on how to take this certification at one go. And while at it, you'll be having some badges along as you go on. You'll be having these badges below. So get acquainted with these badges as those are your badges that, yes, I am now a certified Power Platform person. Yes, you'll be having that. So we have the brain behind Techie, Mr. Gbenga Adeyemo. Mr. Gbenga Adeyemo is a senior data analyst. Yes, with Microsoft Certified Trainer, Power BI Data Analyst, and Associate. Is also an MVP holder with over 5 years of valuable experience. And he has also taught more than 3,000 students. He has also worked in the healthcare, manufacturing, and logistics and retail, of course, is a professional with a proficiency in Microsoft Excel, Power BI, SQL, SSIS, SSAS, Microsoft Fabric, and Power Apps. Yes. And we have our facilitator for today, Miss Bukola Adetola. Bukola, here with me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can,
Hello,
Adiola.
Bukola. Yes. So we have Bukola here with us, which should be taking us on digital transformation with Microsoft Power Platform. And we are excited to welcome Bukola here with us. She's a Microsoft Power Platform consultant with a passion for empowering individuals and organizations through Microsoft's low-code, no-code tools. Bukola specializes in the full power of platform suites, including Canva apps, model-driven apps, Dataverse, Power BI, and Power Virtual Assistants, agents, helping learners and professions alike design real-world solutions. She drives automation and unlock insight from their data. She regularly delivers training aligned with Microsoft's official learning pathways, such as PL 900, Power Platform Fundamentals, MB 900, Dynamics 365 Fundamentals, PL 200, Functional Consultant, NB 210, Dynamics 365 Sales Functional Consultant, MB230, Dynamics 365 Customer Service Functional Consultant, PL400 Developer. Whether gathering beginners or supporting professionals in advanced development practices, Bukola ensures every section is practical and engaging like we are going to be having today. We are trying to have our lead this masterclass on digital transformation with Microsoft Power Platform. So let's get ready to feel the insights on our hands-on practical strategies. Yes, this section is being recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel very soon. It's a free masterclass, and we have Bukola with us, Bukola Adetola, Microsoft Power Platform Developer, Infinon Technologies. Bukola, are you here with me?
Yes, I am.
Yes. So we'll have you take the floor now so you could do your thing, like do your magic in the automation world. Yeah. Hope
All
you're excited
right.
to be with us today.
Absolutely, I am. And thank you so much, Adiola, for the awesome introduction. Thank you so much. So I would just start with sharing my screen and have walk the audience through a brief overview, then the use case scenario, and then we go straight into the demo. So I will just go ahead to share my screen. So can you see my screen?
Oh yes, Bukola, I can. Can everyone see our
Oh,
screen? Plan to react to if you can see our screen.
mm, please give me a minute because I have Teams joined on my web browser. Okay. All right. Okay. Just to confirm again, I'm sure everyone can see my screen. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can everyone hear? Please signify if you can hear and also see our screen. You can use the React emojis on the call. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I could see that. Please go
All
ahead,
right.
Bukola.
Okay. So, yes. So, this is a Power Platform masterclass, right? And this masterclass is tailored towards beginners mostly and intermediate because um I wouldn't just want to start off this course without ensuring that everybody's carried along, right, and having some other people left behind. For the topic for today would be empowering digital transformation, value, and real world impact. So, what's going on? Okay, so the course outline. First, we'll start with an introduction. We have why Power Platform on the outline, the core components, the core pillars of Power Platform, the business value of Power Platform, use cases in different business scenario, and then we'll jump right into the demo. And lastly, we would open the floor for questions and interactions as well. So before I go ahead, Adiola has done a fantastic job, right, introducing me. However, I will just quickly breeze through these. My name is Bukola Aditola once again, and I'm a business automation consultant, passionate about helping people and organizations unlock the power of technology. My work centers around the Microsoft Power Platform, and I have expertise and proficiency in using the Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agents, currently called the Copilot Studio. I've been a Power Platform developer for about 4 years. However, I've been in the Microsoft ecosystem for more than 6 years, initially as a Microsoft salesperson, and then I moved on to support, and then finally and currently, right, I work as both a Power Platform developer and trainer as well. So through this masterclass, my goal is to inspire you to see the Microsoft Power Platform as not just a software, but a catalyst for creativity, problem solving, and innovation. So outside of work as well, outside of development, outside of training, I enjoy sharing insights on LinkedIn and YouTube about business productivity and my everyday experiences in the 9 to 5. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so we'll just go straight into the introduction. So the truth about businesses these days is that every organization today is looking for ways to do more, but with less. And the reality is that there's still so many businesses, there's still so many organizations that still rely on manual processes. By manual process, I mean spreadsheets, endless emails, and there's so many, spend so many hours as well automating. They spend so many hours on tasks that can, ideally be automated. So just to be sure again, I would like to confirm that everyone can hear me. And if at any point that you cannot hear me, please call my attention. All right, so I'll take the silence for that everyone can hear me. Okay, so I will just quickly paint a scenario, right? And let's imagine a scenario where an employee needs to request approval for a business trip, and the organization currently has no automated process. So they send an email, they send you a form in your email, you fill that form, and then you forward it back to your line manager in this case, or the HR. And of course, there's a lot of tasks to assign to your manager or to the HR person in question in this scenario. And in the midst of all of this work, in the midst of all of the workload and the emails, they forget to approve these requests, to approve this request. And obviously, the time is ticking, the time is counting, and then the time for your trip is fast approaching, or is possibly already close. And so they okay, let me backtrack. So the time for your trip is closing up, right? And your trip is yet to be approved because your HR or your line manager has forgotten, even despite the many reminders that you have sent, and they have forgotten to approve this request. What that does is it delays your visit, it delays your trip, because one thing is, if the manager has not approved, there's also going to be a delay in escalating this approval to the next person in a chain of approval, which possibly would be maybe the finance manager, right? It's for a work trip, your line manager or HR approves, then it moves up to the finance person who is supposed to maybe approve the finances or any monetary remuneration that is required for this trip. So all of these leads to frustration, not just to the HR, but to the employee now, because you also have to manage this assigned the workload that is assigned to you. So now I want you to imagine this scenario and multiply it across different processes in your organization. So this is just one process, right? There are multiple processes in a regular organization. I'm talking of even if it's a small business. Now think of enterprise organizations that have more than 1,000 processes within the organization. This just is a simple process, right? Now multiply that across multiple scenarios and imagine the hours that are wasted, the opportunities that are missed, and the employees that feel frustrated. So this is usually the scenario. And then, so many businesses today are under the pressure to move faster, become more efficient, and deliver more experiences, right? All while keeping costs under control. And so that's where digital transformation comes in. And with digital transformation, what do you think? Power Platform, right? And it's just not about adopting new tools, right? It's about also creating value and impact. And what Power Platform does is that it makes this possible by giving organizations the power to innovate from within. So with local technology, you no longer have to wait for months for IT projects to deliver. That's the beauty of Power Platform. So I'll just move on to the next slide. So when you think transformation or digital transformation or process transformation, you have so many answers that come to mind, right? And you might have this question that, okay, of all the answers, why Power Platform? All right. So the answer is simple. Power Platform is a growth accelerator, right? It reduces your costs, it speeds up your process, and it empowers your employees at every level to solve problems directly. What it does is that it connects the tools that we already use. So the beauty of Power Platform is that it not only helps you to simplify or to speed up your process, it also integrates seamlessly with the
Hi,
tools that we
Bukola.
already
Sorry to
use. To,
cut you. Can you
okay,
hear
go
me?
ahead.
Sorry to cut you.
Mm-hmm.
Your screen, your slides are not moving.
Okay, so I'm currently on the Y Power Platform slide. What slide can you see?
It's showing the beginning, Power Platform Masterclass. That's what it's only showing.
Okay, so let me do this. Let me stop sharing and share again. Okay. So I'm just going to share my screen again. Okay, so I'll just share my screen again. Okay, so what about now?
Yeah, it's showing
Yes, it's
now.
showing, it's showing.
Okay, so I will just do this. I will attempt to move to a next slide. I just want to be sure that when I move ahead, right, it shows as well. Okay, so is there a change in my screen?
No,
No.
I think you should make it a slide mode so that you could actually go between slides and it
So
display.
yes, it is on slide mode, but however, I also need the presenter view. It's actually on slide mode.
Probably if
So
you click on slideshows.
sorry, did you say something?
I was saying you can click on slideshow on that tab. So it's going to be displaying a slide. So you can just used your direction button.
Okay. So, okay, let me just escape. So, I have it on slideshow now. So, when I do this, what about now?
I think it's still the same, right?
I'm not sure why this, but maybe we'll just continue. This is possibly because I have Teams. I mean, I'm joining this call. I'm using Teams on my web browser. I don't know. But to avoid any delays, is it okay that we just continue?
Can you share your entire, is this on your window? Can you like share your entire window or your entire
Okay.
PC? Yes, it will work that way. Your entire
Okay.
PC.
All right then. I really didn't want to do that earlier, but I think I will just do that. Okay. So I will just share my entire screen. Okay, so I'm sharing my entire screen now. And is it good now?
Try to move to the other slide, let's say.
Okay. Does it change?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay. Still, I don't know if this is okay. So okay, so that should take us back to where we stopped, right? Just to backtrack. So earlier we were talking about the need for business automation, the need for transforming your business processes. And when you think about transforming business processes, right, when you think about elevating, streamlining your business processes, there are many options that come to mind. There are many answers that come to mind. And you possibly you're wondering why, okay, of all of these answers, right, why Power Platform? Why should I use Power Platform? Why should I use Power Platform to automate my processes? Why should I adopt Power Platform as a business? Why should I become a Power Platform developer? Why should I become an automation specialist? So the answer is very simple, right? um Power Platform itself is not just a low code tool, it's a growth accelerator. It reduces costs and it empowers your employees at every level to solve businesses directly. What it does is that it also gives your employee a sense of familiarity, right? Because it's streamlined. I mean, it integrates seamlessly with other Microsoft products, and by other Microsoft products, I mean the Office 365 suites, your Microsoft Teams, your Outlook, your SharePoint, and all of the other tools, all of the productivity or collaboration tools under the Microsoft 365. And so each component, each pillars under this Microsoft Power Platform, what they do is that they have a unique focus area. So to not waste so much time on this, right, I would just unpick some of these components and speak to what they do and how they all integrate with each other to create custom solution. So for the Power Platform component, we have the Power Apps, we have Power Automate, we have Power BI, we have the Power Virtual Agent. Currently, it's being modernized, it's being elevated, right, to the Microsoft Copilot Studio. We also have Power Pages, and we also have other behind the scene components as well. We have the data connectors, the AI builder, Microsoft Dataverse, Power FX, and the managed environment. So I earlier mentioned I would just unpick a few of them, speak to it, what they do, and how they can transform your business. So I will start with the Dataverse. The Dataverse is the data layer. So when you think of Dataverse, I want you to think the backbone. What it does is it stores and secures the data of all your components, whether it's your application, whether it's your flow, whether it's your reports, even your bots connect to your Dataverse. And if you need to connect to this Dataverse through external connectors as well, you can do that. So what the Dataverse does and what it provides to the Power Platform is that it provides a common data service. And by common data service, I mean that it provides like a standardized or uniform format for all of your application. So if you need to build a custom web development, you need to connect to a data source, you use you can easily just use your Dataverse. And if you also need to create an automation, create the flow, you can also connect to your Dataverse. So you don't necessarily have to create different data components for each of your tools. The Dataverse provides a unified experience, right? The same data that you use in your Power Apps is the same data that you can use in your Power Automate, is the same data that you can use in your Power BI. So the Power Apps, that's the tool for application development. It's basically the front door, the user experience layer. And what this does is it creates like a custom interface. So under the Power Apps, we have the Canva apps and we have the modern driven app. So for Canva apps, it's more UI driven. Yeah, it's more UI driven, right? You can design your application, creating custom interface. You can brand it with your organization team. While the modern driven app, it's more component driven, right? It's a similar approach to how Dynamics 365 is built, right? You just plug in all of these components and then you have your application suited towards what you want. So for the next one, so we're going to talk about, so we talked about Dataverse, Power Apps, and next we will talk about Power Automate, right? The Power Automate, in this case, I want you to think of the Power Automate as the engine, as the process layer. Let's think about it as the process layer, right? It helps you handle your workflow. So the Power Apps is the front door, is the front end. The Power Automate would be the back end. Let's just use the back end in this case, right? It's the process engine, the process layer. It helps you handle all of your behind the scenes, right? So I have created a custom application, for example, that allows employee to create or to submit a leave request, right? Your Power Automate on the behind would take those data. If I need to automate notifications to the persons in charge of the chain of approval, your manager, the HR, or any other person, that's what your Power Automate will do. It's not visible to the users. It's not visible to the users. And the users in this case can be the employees or the manager or the HR, right? It happens behind the scene. So to automate notification, if I need to also automate reminders, right? Say if by a stipulated time, the necessary person to action that request is yet to do that, and I want to be able to send reminders to them to do that, right? The Power Automate will also do that for you. If after approval, I also want to send notification back to the who initiated this request, that is the employee in this case, the Power Automate will also do that. And perhaps it's a leave request. So in this case, right, it's a leave request. It's being approved already, right? And I also want to notify the manager and say, this employee, their leave starts today and ends at so time. You can also do that with the Power Automate. So this is just a scenario-based situation where you can use your Power Apps and your Power Automate already. So we just move to the next, right? We've talked about Dataverse, we talked about Power Apps, and we've also talked about Power Automate. So for the next one, we're going to talk about Power BI, and this is the insight layer. What this does for you, it creates like a dashboard, and within your dashboard, you have reports, different visualization. This is like your visualization layer. So I earlier mentioned that you can use all of these tools independently, and also you can use all of these tools together, right, to create a solution. So like the scenario that I mentioned earlier, the leave requests, using Power Apps, using Power Automate. For Power BI now, I have all of those information saved in my database, which is the data layer, right? And I want to be able to see insight. I want to be able to have better insights onto how all of these data that I have, how it works, right? So I want to create a dashboard for possibly the HR person. I want her to be able to see the volume of requests that is coming in per month, so that they can get to have an understanding of, say, within the first quarter of the month or the second quarter of a particular quarter of the year, they want to be able to know the volume of requests, so that what it does is, when you're able to get insights on all of that, right, it helps you to be able to make data driven decisions, right? So if I want to be able to see um, reports or visualizations for each quarter, the volume of requests, what particular departments, what particular level of people, what type of leave are they taking for that particular quarter of the year, so that when they have all of this information, it can further help them to plan or to manage their employee within the organization. So that's basically how and what you can do with the Power BI. Okay, so lastly, okay, so not lastly, second to the last, right? So also going to talk about the Power Virtual Agents, and the Power Virtual Agent helps you to create chatbots, right? So for your chatbots, you can have them in your Power Apps, you can have them deployed on Teams, and you can have them embedded on your website. There are multiple use cases for your chatbots. What they do is they act as a virtual assistant to whoever this chatbot is tailored to. So for instance, the scenario that we made earlier, the leave request, let's skip to that. I created a chatbot, right? I want this chatbot to be deployed on Teams, so that employees on it can provide employees frequently answer it can provide employees with answers to frequently asked questions. So that they don't necessarily have to go to the HR all the time, right? So ask all of these questions. So any questions related to the leave, perhaps employee leave policies, if they also want to be able to retrieve information on the leave days that are available, the type of leaves, what time of the year are those leaves applicable, and all of that. So the essence of automation is to be able to um, reduce repetitive tasks, right? So that particular stakeholders in key processes. Okay, that's someone speaking. In key processes, can actually focus on tasks that are important, right? So, lastly, we're just going to be talking about connectors. So, connectors are the bridges that bring all of these things together. So, if I want to use my Outlook in my Power Apps, if I want to use my Office 365 in my Power Apps, if I want to use my Teams in my Power Apps, I use the connector. So what are connectors? Connectors are like the bridges that lets all of these Power Platform components to talk to each other and other systems as well. So within the Power Platform, there are over 1,000 connectors, built in already, right? So all of these connectors that are built in speak to services within the Office 365. So they're connectors for Teams, Outlook, SharePoint, and under this connector, they already defined actions that these connectors can enable you take within this. So so basically, right, we've spoken to and I've explained the Microsoft Dataverse, Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, Power Virtual Agents, and what else? Data connectors. So lastly, I will just speak to PowerFX. PowerFX is the low code language used in writing or building the functionalities in your Power App. So you build the front end, you build the screens, you build all of the controls you have on your screen. You want to be able to have all of these controls speak with each other. You want to be able to have all of these controls speak with other services like the Power Apps. What we use is the Power FX, and it's like an Excel-like formula, right? So that's essentially what the Power FX is. So that's that on the Power Platform component. Okay, so we've spoken to why Power Platform, right? And what it does for your businesses. And we've also spoken to the different components, the different pillars of the Power Platform. So now we're going to speak about the business value. And I've spoken to why you should use Power Platform. I will also speak to how if you use Power Platform, what value does it add to your business, right? Um, so first on the list, we have faster innovation and lower cost. Um, with Power Apps, right, developers, Power Platform developers can build applications without it taking forever. So it's business application for a reason. It's faster than traditional development, right? Because it already provides you with a platform, you already have the connectors, and so you can transform processes, you can transform business process, you can streamline processes within weeks and without taking forever to having to build custom developments to transform those processes. So next is the efficiency and productivity. With Power Automate, we spoke about Power Automate earlier. What it does is to eliminate repetitive and manual tasks so that the employees within your organization, right, can focus on higher value work. What Power Automate does is that when it helps you to automate repetitive tasks, it also reduces human errors and increases process of your speeds. Uh, It increases um, the speed of your processes. Excuse me. So I would just have all of these business value pick each of the components. So we've spoken about the faster innovation, lower cost efficiency, and productivity. So we'll also talk about data-driven decisions. I mentioned this earlier, right? With and how you can do this with Power BI, right? The value that this brings to your business is that you can have real-time visibility into your business performance. I mentioned the scenario for the leave automation process, right? You can have a dashboard built and tailored to the HR person. It provides them insights onto how all of the data that is collected on the back end into the data source, right? It provides them insight onto how all of this work. You can have different metrics defined, the number of requests per month, the request per department, the request per leave type, and all of that. So essentially, with all of this insight that it provides to you as a business owner or a stockholder in your business, right, you can make better data-driven decisions to manage your business with this insight that are provided to you. Okay, next we have enhanced employee experiences. And with chatbots, you can have this, right? So you can have a chatbot built to provide 24/7 experiences to your employees. I mentioned earlier, rather than have all these questions or requests sent to maybe the HR, right? You can have your chatbot tailor to specific use cases, to have your chatbot answer all of these questions for existing employees, for new employees. You provide answers to all of these questions that they have. So next we have the Empower department. Okay, so for Empower departments, all of this value that I've spoken to, the faster innovation, efficiency and productivity, data-driven decisions, enhancing employee experiences, all all of this, what it does is that it empowers your employees, right? They have more time to focus on priority tasks, right? They have time to focus on priority tasks. They no longer have to spend time repeating tasks that can be automated. So lastly, we have agility and scalability. That's one of the key business value of the Power Platform. It's very easy for you to scale. It's very easy for you to version your application. For instance, you have your Power Apps built with a current version, right? Your current version already only speaks to different business. It only speaks to specific requirements in your business. For version 2, you can basically just add on to those requirements that you have and build on it. And so you can just have your version 2 um, you can just have your version 2 as a build on push to deployment on the existing application that you've built. So it's very easy to scale. It doesn't require any additional operational costs to your business, right? You use the existing tools that you have, the existing licenses that you have to be able to scale through different versions or different business requirements as you continue to adopt Power Platform in your business. Okay, so next we are going to look at different use cases in different use cases in different processes or different departments within a business. And so for the human resource team, there are multiple over 100 use cases depending on the type of business and depending on what your business does, right? But to just pick a few, for the human resources processes that you can automate are the employee onboarding. You can also have your recruitment tracking, right? Rather than just have your recruitment all over the place, you can build an application for every time an application is filled by an applicant. You automate you automate the response retrieval into your data source, and in turn you can use all of the data that you have to track the recruitment, whether the position is filled, whether the applicant is actually giving an offer to join the organization and all of that. So there's also the leave and attendance management, there's performance appraisal. You want to automate the process of appraising employees within the organization. You can build your application to and have all of these metrics required for the appraisal imputed in your application. And at the time of appraisal, open up the application for appraisal, have line managers or business managers assign appraisal metrics to the people directly under them, have them um, appraise when necessary, and you can just automate all of those information, right, for different quarters, whether it's quarterly, whether it's monthly, right? And if you need to have a log of all of those appraisal so that you can know when an employee is not doing well, you can know when there's room for improvement and all of that, you can do that within the Power Apps and the Power Platform. There's the employee help desk, there's the employee feedback survey, expense management, exit, and onboarding. Under finance and operation, there are also numerous use cases. So just to pick a few, we have reimbursement management, invoice processing and approval, vendor management, audits and risk management, procurement requests, cash flow monitoring, and reporting and financial reporting. Next is sales and customer service. Sales and customer service, there are also so many, more than 100, if not 1,000 use cases. So this is just to mention a few. There's the lead capture and qualification, and for this there's also a Microsoft out of the box solution. There is the customer insight journey and the customer dynamic 365 customer insights journey and dynamic 365 sales that helps you to manage your lead generation, lead capturing, and qualification. All of these are also built on the components, also built on the Microsoft Power Platform as well. So um, next we have opportunity management, we have sales order management, customer management. We also have case and ticket management. We have chatbots for FAQ and support, and we have customer complaints management. So this is something that I picked up, right, and this is like a code that I live by, right? So when you think Power Platform, because usually there's so many confusion onto what Power Platform is or what it can do, right? That's why I had to like quickly just go through like a background, right? So when I like to say this all the time, that when you think about Power Platform, it's important to think about Power Platform in how you can transform business processes. So when you think Power Platform, I want you to think, how can I transform 1,000 processes a year? When you think Power Platform, you think processes within different organizations. How do you identify different processes? And when you identify those business processes, what are the things that are lagging? What are the pain points for those process owner? What are the need for the business, right? So once you identify all of those things, it helps you or gives you insight onto what Power Platform tools that are required to alleviate or to elevate or to transform that process. So when you think Power Platform, think, how can I transform 1,000 processes here? When you begin to think like this, you begin to identify that there are so many and numerous processes within businesses. Next, we will just be jumping into the demo. And for the demo, right, this is the business scenario. Before I continue into this, I would just want to confirm if so far, if there's any question before we deep dive into this. So if there's any question, if you want me to reiterate on anything that I've spoken about so far, um, now would be a good time. Hi, Adiola. Okay, I am on the presenter's view, so I wouldn't really know if anyone's hands is up. So if you have any question, it would just be better to unmute and go ahead rather than raise or signify by raising your hand. And in the absence of no question, I would just proceed with this. So in the next 1 minute.
I think there's a question in the chat.
Okay. I would have to exit. So is it possible that the question is just ask? Can the person please unmute to ask the question? I wouldn't want to disrupt this presentation as we have it going now, so that there's no reason why if a particular screen is not showing all of that.
Yeah, good afternoon. I was asking if one needs knowledge of coding to be able to learn all this stuff. That was my question on the chat. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So thank you so much for the question. In my experience, right, there's no need for you to have knowledge of coding. And I will use myself as an example, right? When I started out with Power Platform, I had no knowledge of coding, so it's not a requirement. And also, basically, on the basic level, Power Platform is called low code, so it's not professional coding like your React or JavaScript. Although that as you proceed, right, as you move high up in the ladder or in the career as a power, there might be a requirement for you, but for you to start out, right, it's not a requirement for you to have knowledge of coding. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so would there be any other question? Okay, so I'll take the silence for no and proceed with this. In the absence of no further question, right? So for the demo, this would be the business scenario. And so the demo is excuse me. So the demo is a very, very simple use case to accommodate all of the everyone in the audience, whether you're a beginner, whether you've not even heard of Power Platform before, or whether you have heard of Power Platform, whether you're a Power Platform developer or you have an intermediate understanding of Power Platform. This is to cater to everyone in attendance, right? So the business scenario is that currently the HR team of an organization uses the Microsoft Forms to collect interviews scheduling details, right? They get the candidate name, position, date, and time, and then the interviewer assign. However, after that form is submitted, the process quickly becomes manual and inefficient. The recruiters have to manually send Outlook invites to interviewers, and sometimes this results in double booking or missed details, right? There's also there's also the scenarios where the candidates might receive late or inconsistent notification, and the recruiters also they also have a hard time trying to remember to send notifications to interviewers and candidates, because of course there are multiple interviews happening daily or weekly, right? And sometimes this becomes overwhelming. And after the interview, collecting feedback from interviewers is a painful follow-up. So with no centralized system, HR leaders have limited visibility into interview schedules, pending interviews, or feedback completion, right? And the result is missed interviews due to poor reminders that the candidates sometimes they miss their interview because there's no reminder set. There's also frustrated candidates who get a poor hiring experience. And lastly, there's also stress on the HR staff who spend hours every week doing repetitive admin tasks rather than just focusing on strategic hiring. So essentially, this pain point speaks to also aligns with everything that I've spoken about so far, right? As to how having to repeat so many tasks would make you not focus on strategic or priority tasks that stakeholder or that employee is supposed to do. So in this case right now, I've read out the business scenario, I've read out the pain points, I've read out um, the stress that this person is going through. So with all of this, the key thing that we need to be able to address is sending interview invites to automating the send of automating the process of sending invites to the candidates, right? Because currently all of this is done manually. Once they get the form responses, then the HR person has to manually send invites to um, the candidates one after the other. So for this particular demo, just not to make sure that this process is overwhelming, we're going to focus on sending the interview invite. So I will just switch to the demo. So I'll start sharing this. Mhm. Okay, so I'll just like a confirmation that my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
All right, thank you. So for this particular automation process, we're going to be using Power Automate. So we're going to I'm on make.powerautomate.com, right? And on my sidebar here, there are different activities. Yeah, so but we will stick to the create screen. And for the Power Automate as well, I don't remember speaking to this. There are multiple templates as well that helps you to get started out as a beginner. So there are multiple templates here that you can use to begin your automation process, and they span across different services, not only the Microsoft um, tools, because here there is the Twitter, there's also Gmail, Google Drive. There are multiple templates here that you can use if you're starting out as a beginner. If you're starting out, even not only as a beginner, right? There are multiple templates here that you can use to start your automation process. So go back to create. So for Power Automate, there are three different automations. There are different types, right? There's the automated cloud flow, there's the instant cloud flow, and there's the scheduled cloud flow. So for scheduled cloud flow, it's like the name indicates, right? Is a flow that is scheduled to run. It's a flow that is automated to run on a schedule, right? So you can schedule it to run daily, you can schedule it to run hourly, you can schedule it to run weekly. So one use case where one scenario where this is often used, one that comes top of my head is usually within organization, right? They have employees information, and so many organizations send like an automated happy birthday email just to let everybody know when it's a particular employee birthday. So typically what will be used in this scenario will be a scheduled cloud flow. How this will work is that every day where you have your employee information, whether it's in your SQL DB or you have it in your database, right? You have this flow looking through that database, that data source every day. And so if today's date is anyone's birth date in the DB, right? Send an email to say happy birthday to this person. Send an email to notify everyone in the organization that happy birthday. Another scenario might be for interviews as well. In this case, yeah, this one came to my head. So for in this case, for our business scenario, right, we are looking at the interview and recruitment process, right? So if we have the information or the responses collected from the Microsoft form submitted in Dataverse or in SharePoint. We can also have the schedule for looking through that data every day to pick interview dates. So once it picks an interview that matches today's dates, right, it sends a reminder to the candidate to remind them that they have an interview for today's date. So the reminder can be scheduled to run multiple times, right? Maybe 1 hour to the start time, 30 minutes to the start time. It's not limited to how you want it. So we also have instant cloud flow. And the instant cloud flow is you can trigger your flow to run instantly, right? Either with a button, or another scenario where this is used is typically inside of Power Apps, right? So that when a user clicks a button, it instantly triggers a automation, it triggers the flow. And a very, very popular scenario is for email notifications. So I want that when an employee submits a leave request, right, I want it to trigger a flow so that a notification is sent to their manager to notify them that a leave request has been submitted by the said person. So that's what you can do with instant cloud flow. And for today's class, right, what we're going to, this scenario, this type that we're doing is an automated cloud flow. So it's triggered to run by specific or specified events. So I will just go ahead to show you how this works. So we're going to give our flow a name. So I'm going to just call it interview notification flow. So for your flow, there are two important things. I've mentioned the types of flow, right? The different types of flow that we have, and the scenarios, the popular scenarios where we use this type of flow. So when you're creating your flow, there's also other things worthy of note. And one important thing is the trigger event, right? The trigger event for your automated cloud flow spans across different specified events. You get to define what triggers your flow. And so in this case, because the response is coming from Microsoft Forms, right, we would have Microsoft Forms as our trigger. So I would just select Forms. So we have Forms already here. Okay, so my trigger is going to be when a response is submitted, and I'll go ahead to create and start my flow process. So I will just create a connection here. Okay, so this is connected to the Microsoft form, and I already have an application form which I would show you. So that is my trigger. So on my application form, I've already designed the Microsoft form to collect application details from candidates. And on my application form, I have the candidate's name, email address, job role, and interview dates, selected time, and lastly, comments from the candidates if they have any. Okay, so we'll just switch back to our flow interface. So when a new response is submitted, is the trigger for my flow. My next action will be when that response is submitted, I want to get the response. Okay, so I get the response. I'll pick my form as picked in the earlier step, and I will pick the response ID. So now I have my trigger and the next step to get the response detail. Um, for my automation, right, I want that when this detail is submitted, right, the interviewer can send automated notification to the candidates with an invite link. So I'm just going to add a tweak to this, right? So when a response is submitted, get the details. I want to save the details to my Dataverse because all of these details have to sit somewhere. So under my Dataverse, right, there are multiple actions, and I also spoke about connectors earlier. This is a Microsoft Dataverse connector, and under my connector, there are different defined actions under it, like add a new row, delete a row, and all of that. So for this particular action, I want to add a new row to my Dataverse. Okay, so in your Dataverse, there are standard tables that come with your Power Platform, right? They're standard tables, and you can also create custom tables. So for this one, we're going to use one of the standard table called contacts. So now that I have this, so we have the last name as a required field. So now that I have this, I'm going to map all of the details that come in from my Microsoft form to different rows, to different columns to different matching columns in my Dataverse table, which is the contacts table. So last name is a required field, is a required column. So for last name, we can just use the candidate's name. There's also email. We'll have this maps to the email address. We can also have the candidate name mapped to first name, job title, alternatively, let me just show you how to create a Dataverse table. So I'm in Power Apps. This is Power Automate, bake.powerautomate.com, and I have switched to the make.powerapps environment. So this is the make.powerapps environment, and on my side menu, there are different tabs here, home, create, and all of that. And there is a table. I mentioned earlier that for tables, there are the standard tables that come with your Dataverse, with your Power Platform. Tables like accounts, contact, address, application. No, application is not. Appointment and all of that. There are just multiple standard tables that come with it. However, there's also the option to be able to create your own table. There's the option to be able to also import your table. If you have your table or you already currently have your data sitting in your Excel sheet, right, you can import your data from Excel. You can also import your data from Dataflow. I would not speak to that for today's class. And you can also export your tables your data that you have in your table. You can export them to an Excel or a CSV format. So for creating the tables now, there's the option to start with a blank table. There's the option to create your table with Excel or CSV file. So if you already have that data sitting somewhere, which is also going to be typical for an existing organization, you can import that data to your table that you have created, and you also have them seated in SharePoint list. You can import them as well. So I will just select start with a blank table. Okay, so here I would change. So there's the default table name, which is just table 1. So let's call this table, okay, application tracking. So under tables, we have okay, so I'm just save and it. So under tables, we have something called columns, and your columns speak to different data types, like I would show you. That's why I switched to creating a custom table so that I can show you how to create different columns. So for the Microsoft Power Platform, so this is the data layer. So when you create a new table, there's the primary column, usually is called new column. So you can have your primary column, you can change it or edit it to um, any information that you want, right? Many times is defined to be a custom number, a unique identifier for every information that is submitted in your table into your data. So for our form, we have, these are the information that's collected, right? So we're going to create table, or we're going to create columns to match this required information. We have the candidate name, email address, job role, interview date, time, and comment. So I'll just edit this to candidate name. So this is, no, why do I keep, no. All right, save. Okay, so this is for a new column. So under your table, there's something called column, and under columns, there are data types depending to match the type of data that you intend to save in your data source. We have texts, we have number, we have date and time, we have the lookup column, we have the choice column, we have currency, auto number file, different data types to support the type of data that you intend to submit here. So we already have candidate name here on the table. I would add candidates, I'll add email address. So for the data type email address, there's also format here. And for single line of text, for your format, it can either be an email, phone number, and all the different types of formats. So I've selected email because this is an email address. The behavior is simple and required. Is this column required when at the point of creating a row or creating an addition to this table? I would leave it as optional. So we're just going to keep this creating this table, this creating a table and column side as simple as possible. So go and save. So next we have candidate name, email address. Let me go back. Okay, job role. Job role. For job role, so we're still going to stick to the single line of text data type because it's possibly just a line of text, a single line of text. and the display name for the column is a required action. You have to put in the display name. So I've selected the data type. I'll leave the format as text, behavior simple, and whether this column is required, I'll keep it as optional. Next, we would have interview dates. So for interview dates, we're not going to use the single line of text again because it doesn't, the way date and time is written or formatted is different from how a text or string is returned and submitted to the data source. So we're just going to use um, dates. Let's use dates. So for the data type, there's date and time, and we're going to use dates only. Format is date only. Behaviors, simple, required, optional. Okay, so on the form, so form does not allow you to format time as time. So this is formatted like in a text format. This is just a option set that allows you to pick each of the time that is available or is suited to this candidate. So ideally, this should be formatted as a time data type. But since this is set up here as a text, right, I'm going to want to save the data here as a text. However, I would, in the course of my demonstration, I will show you how to format this text back into a time format. So I'll just stick to the single line of text and save. And then lastly, we have comments. So for comments, we're not going to use single line of text because it's probably going to be multiple line of text, right? So rather than single line of text, there's under text, we have single line of text and we also have multiple line of text. So I would select multiple line of text. So what this does is allows the string or the text that is returned to be more than a single line of text instead. So format is still text, and I would. So this is on creating the data source part. So just go back to my flow to hopefully this would reflect here. So I'll go back and find. So probably have to reload. So I'm going to save first and reload so that I can pull in the information for the table that I just created before I started this flow creation process. So I will just refresh.
Because while artists, please let's be conscious of our time.
Okay. So I would, okay, so what's the name of the table again? Application tracking. Easier to show here. So okay, let me just delete and bring. Okay, hopefully this has picked up the table that I just created. So okay, so the issue is this table that I've created is yet to reflect. Let me try and reload this and just refresh this as well, and hopefully the table shows up here. Okay, let's try that again. If we can't find it, we'll just skip this process and go to the next step. So it's still not showing. So we'll just keep this and then come back to it later. So now that we have a trigger, we've gotten the response, right? One of the key things is to be able to send automated reminders to the candidates. Once this response is gotten, I want to be able to send this information to one of the team members, one of the persons involved in maybe the HR head or something. I want them to get this information and then approve this interview process. So for approval type, I would choose this. So there are different approval types. I would choose this interview, schedule, approval. I'll just select myself. Okay, so this will be assigned to myself so that I can approve. Okay, so save. So once this is saved, I want to create an event. I want to be able to create an event on my calendar. Okay, so for calendar ID and this interview, I would select the candidate's name that we have on the get response details. So candidate name. For start time, this is as a text. So the options of getting this information as a dynamic content or as an expression, as a formula. So I would choose this because I need to be able to um format that text into a date and time. So first I have to concat. So because the interview dates and the time that is picked are separate, I have to bring concat both of them before I format it. So for this, we'll start with okay, interview dates. So then we have I'm concatenating both interview dates and time. Okay, so after I concat, I will go and format this as a date and time value. So I want to be able to format this as dates first, month, here, hour, space, minutes. No, this is months, minutes, and close. Okay, so for hard time, so this is the start time. The interview should be ideally 30 minutes. So just go ahead and add 30 minutes to this already. So we're going to copy, paste, add minutes. 30. Okay. So time zone, lastly, I will select time zone. So lastly, once this is approved, an event is created, I want to lastly send an email, an automated email to the candidate. So send an email V2. So two, we will select the dynamic content that is gotten from our form. Email address, subject, just use interview confirmation, candidate name, so that this is specifically tailored to each candidate. And then for body, I'm going to just have dear so the interviewer already picked the day. So this is more like a confirmation. This is to confirm that you have been scheduled for an interview on. So would have the date and time, response coming from our create event. Yeah. And then lastly, for meeting link, okay, this isn't exactly what this would do. Thanks. So these steps just handles one of the business scenario, which is once the response is collected, right, rather than just having it static in an Excel sheet, right? So once it comes in, if the HR person or anyone assigned to this approves that request, this goes ahead to create an event in the calendar for the date and time that is selected by the candidate. And once this happens, there's an email notification sent out to the candidate to confirm their interview. So once we have done this, I'll go ahead and save test. Okay, so let's test. So test, I will go to my form. So for candidate name, I will just use my name. Email address, I would use the same one. ZSDQY dot on. For job role, I would just select developer, dates. I can select these dates. Time. Let's just do 4 p.m. Comments, it's optional, it's not required. For none, just submit. Okay, so let's go back to so there's an error coming from the flow.
Hi, Bukola. Time is fast spent. This is a 1 hour and we already use 1 hour 14 minutes.
Okay. Okay. I just want this. So let me just delete. Oh, no, we need. Oh, okay. I'm trying to make this as short as possible. All right. So for this, let me remove this. Let's keep this for now. Just run again. So let's just test with a recently used trigger. There's a bit of an error here because our time is fast spent, and not to keep us on the call for long, I will just use, just want to show the end. So I will just replace this. So for this as well, let's just add minutes. Okay. Okay, let's test again. So mm, assure. Um. So I think I'm just going to please give me a minute. I'm going to just have this run earlier today. I'm not sure where that problem is coming from, so I will just copy and bring this back here. Our time is fast spent. Okay, so let's just test. Or let me just go and let me do manually. Let me create it again. Okay. Because I want to use the email that I have open to show ZSDQY. Just use two. Okay, so this has run. I will just open my email that I had it open. So usually, Adela, 1 hour is actually very small for to have all of this covered. And even at that, this is like a very 1726. Okay. Okay. Um so basically they just return the start time as I had selected and the meeting link back to the interviewer. Um so yes. So this um just speaks to one leg of the pain point, right? This is just automating the interview invite sent to the candidates. The other parts on skipping my mind now. The other parts on managing the entire process. Perhaps if there's another time and possibly if it's a longer time than this, because all of this looks all rushed and I just had to quickly speak to different things. Um, there'll be the other part of this for the HR persons on how to like manage the different candidates, um, information that they get, right? And this is automated for that is if this is just one leg of the entire business need, right? If there's another time, we will speak to the other requirements as shown on that business scenario. Um, so yeah, um, Adiola, you can have the floor. But before I go, right, I'll just quickly show that I have a YouTube channel, right, and I intend to just drop videos like this, tutorial videos, step by step, simple steps like this on how to get started on Power Platform. And the channel is the Bukola_AD. So please follow. And thank you so much to the techie um, for um, for bringing me to have this session with the audience. So thank you. I'll stop sharing now, and Adiola, you
Thank you very
can,
much,
yes,
Bukola.
have,
I know the 1 hour is very small for them to have that. So that was why the extension. Now, if you notice, I
yeah.
didn't call you out on the extension. So I hope everyone at the form field power platform section. If you enjoyed this section, you could give a reaction. Hello. Thank you, Margaret. I can see Oluwaseun. If you had a form field section, we would have had more time, but definitely you can't learn all in one day. It's step by step, right, Bukola? So the recordings will be uploaded, yes, so you'll be able to go through the steps and sharing my screen right now, but before that, I'll be sharing a feedback form link so everyone could share a feedback. We'd love to hear from you all. Yes, ways we could
Hadiola,
um
okay, sorry to cut you. Is there, um, is there a way where I can also be able to get insights from that feedback as well, so that I get to know how all of this went? I get to get the feedback as well.
yeah,
Would that be
sure.
possible? All right.
You will get
Okay.
feedbacks on
Yeah.
Monday.
Thank you.
Yeah, so welcome back again to our episodes of webinar. It will be posted on our YouTube. It's being recorded. If you have any questions to shoot at Bukola, please do try to shoot your shot now before Bukola leaves the call. And please fill our feedback form. And yeah, our classes are ongoing. Our cohort registration are ongoing. If you want to register and if you want to make inquiries, oh yes, you could message us. I'll be dropping a number now for you to message to make inquiry. Please fill our feedback form. So kindly love to hear from you. And also follow us on all you can scan the barcode on the screen. There's a barcode on the screen. If you are finding that to go on the link, you can scan the barcode for easier access. And follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn at Techie Academy, and we have Techie_Academy on Instagram. You could reach us on this number on your screen if you have inquiries or you want to make inquiries. Yes, I'll be dropping it on the chat soon. Please
Yes, I
feed
have
the
a Ola. There's
yeah.
the last contact she said we can check out what she has. I want to get that. I didn't complete it.
Sorry, come again.
There's I think I don't know if it's a link she mentioned at the end towards the end of our teaching. I want to get that
Okay.
link.
Yes, I'll just drop it in the chat if that's okay by Adiola. Is that fine?
You say it to me, so I'll send it to their mail.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right, that's fine.
So there's a feedback form on the chat. Please kindly fill. And we also have our webinars on our YouTube channel. I'll be sharing the link also.